What's up, Brick Youth? Woo! Yeah, in case we haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, my name is Preston, and I get the privilege of serving here as your associate youth pastor. And today I'm excited because we are starting a brand new collection of sermons. I'm not going to tell you the title of yet, but I will tell you in a minute. But first, I want to tell you guys something. I actually found out something about myself recently. And I'm going to tell you guys in confidence because I haven't told anyone about this yet. But I think that I found out that I might be a little bit maybe scared of the dark still. So yeah, you don't have to laugh at me, but yeah, that's fine. And the way that I found this out is when I was a kid, probably 6th to 7th grade-ish, I used to do this thing where I would be in my room and I'd be trying to go to sleep, and all of a sudden I would just get kind of scared. I don't really know why, but it was late, and I was I'm just not feeling super good right now in this moment. And the way that I would fix it is I would take my phone out and I'd plug it into the charger, and I'd find a YouTube video that I didn't really care if I fell asleep to, right? And I would turn it on, and I would turn it to where it was just enough where I could hear it, but I didn't really know what was going on, so it wasn't distracting. And I would fall asleep that way, and it would make me feel a little bit better about being in the dark. Well, last week, or not last week, but during spring break, my wife, Fallon, and I, we went to Colorado, and it was a great time. We really had a really good time in Colorado. But on the way there, our trip took a little bit longer than we thought it would. And so we ended up getting to our Airbnb really, really late. So we pull up, and it's this nice house, but it's 100 years old. It's kind of just creepy because it's old, and it's creaky, and we will go in, and it's dark whenever we pull up. It's midnight, and we go in, and we're both really tired, and we go to lay down in bed, and Fallon goes and she lays down, and I don't know why at the time, but I pull out my laptop, and I open up Princess and the Frog, and I set it on the bed. And we start watching Princess and the Frog. And Fallon looks at me and she's like, "Oh, that's one of my favorite movies. Thank you for doing that for me." And I was like, "Absolutely, that was for you. You're welcome. You can, yeah, I know you so well, girl." And I realized in that moment, I was looking back, and I was I think I might be a little bit scared of the dark still. And for some reason, having that little bit of light from my laptop, it changed so much about how I felt in the darkness. And today I want to hop into a scripture, Genesis 1:1-4. And this is the moment whenever we actually got light in the world for the first time. It says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." It says, "Now the earth was formless and empty." And it says, "Darkness was hovering over the surface of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And then God said, 'Let there be light.' And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness." And so when I'm looking at this scripture, one of the questions that pops up to me is, why was darkness hovering over the deep? Something seems to be off. Why was darkness there? And I don't know if you have this problem, but does anyone here have a hard time doing the right thing sometimes? Okay, cool. There are a few of you that do. We all do. And the reason for that is because what's happening here, right? The story was going wrong before it even started. There was darkness in the world before it even had light in it. And we get to this spot now where we have the benefit of hindsight, right? So we know that Jesus came for us. We know that he died for us. We know that he's saved us. We have a spot in eternity because of him. But they didn't have that back before Jesus came. And so what you'll see is the world was a really, really dark place. The light of the world hadn't came yet. And then Jesus thankfully was born, right? He lived a sinless life. He went and he died on a cross for us, and then 3 days later, he resurrected, and we actually get to celebrate that in a few days for Easter, and I'm super stoked about that. And we get the hindsight of that. We know that, but that was revolutionary whenever Jesus was here. And Jesus, he had a disciple named John. And John was a unique guy, and if you ever want to go read the Bible, I would actually recommend going and reading the book of John first. It's one of my favorite books of the Bible. And in one of my favorite books of the Bible, John actually opens up his gospel. This is his testimony of Jesus, and he does it in a unique way, and we get to see it in John 1:1-5. He says, "In the beginning was the Word." Does that sound familiar? It's crazy because John took the in the beginning from Genesis, which would have been one of the most important scriptures for the Israelites. And he says, "In the beginning was the Word." The Word is Jesus. And he says, "And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And so John lets us know that this last scripture is honestly one of my favorite verses. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And so we have this thing happening where like Jesus brought the light into the world. We're no longer living in the world that was happening in Genesis, because Jesus came and the light is in the world, and Jesus, thank God, has saved us, right? Like we can be saved if we start following Jesus, but also we're still living in a world that has corruption. We're still living in a world that has darkness. We can be saved, but we still live in a world that isn't fully redeemed yet. And I think what's interesting is in that first verse, it said that the earth was formless and empty. And it's talking about like physically it was formless and empty. But if you've lived any time, you know that like we can also feel formless and empty. Like you know that you can experience some things that are dark. You can experience some things that just, aren't right. And so we have this wrestle as Christ followers where we have a call on our life, where we know that Jesus has saved us, where we know that we are redeemed, but we're living in a world that isn't. And so that last part of that verse says, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And it lets us know the darkness hasn't overcome the light. But what I want to let you know today is actually the light will overcome the darkness. And so we're going to look at like, how does the light overcome the darkness? To actually get our answer in Revelation 12:11, the darkness is talking about like Satan himself is the darkness. And it says that we have some weapons, we have some ways of overcoming the darkness, and it might not be the ways that you think it is. It says that they triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. Someone say testimony. And it says they did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. So we're actually starting our new collection of sermons today. And the title of this collection is Testify. And what I'm trying to let you know today is that your testimony is the most powerful tool that you have. It is absolutely the most powerful tool that you have. It says that we have the blood of the Lamb. What is the blood of the Lamb? The blood of the Lamb is the light. The blood of the Lamb is Jesus. The blood of the Lamb is the light that Jesus brought into the world. What is your testimony? Your testimony is how you share that light with other people. And this is what we do. This is what we are called to do as Christ followers. We are called to let other people know how Jesus has changed us. We are called to let other people know the good news that Jesus came and he is the light of the world and he overcomes the darkness. The darkness doesn't have to be on us anymore because we have someone who can get it off of us. We can step out of it and we can step into freedom. This is what we do. Matthew 5:14-16 says this. It says, "You are the light of the world." This is Jesus talking. "A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." So we found out that Jesus is the light, right? When we found out that the light will overcome the darkness. And this is Jesus talking to us, and he actually says, "You are the light." Like the light himself told you that you are the light. Like that's pretty wild. Why? Because that's what we're called to do. That's what we're called to be. We're called to walk in these places. When we're talking about occupying all streets, this is exactly what we're talking about. Going out and being the light to the world. So how do we be the light to the world? Well, we use the best tool that we have. What's the best tool that we have? The best tool that we have is our testimony. Someone say testify. And so what we do is we decide that we're going to be followers of Jesus, and we're going to go out here. We're not only just going to experience Jesus ourselves, but we're going to go and we're going to testify about his goodness and testify about what he's done in our lives. So how do we testify? What is a testimony made of? A testimony is made up of three things, in my opinion. The first one was you let people know, like, what was the darkness like? Like, what was it like before you started following Jesus? Like what were the areas in your life where you could feel like it just wasn't right? You know, like that scary feeling. If you're scared of the dark, maybe you're not scared of the dark like me, but like that feeling, like what places in your life did you feel that? And what was it like before you started following Jesus? The second thing is, how did you find the light? Like, how did you start following Jesus? Where did he find you at? Where did you find him at? What was that journey like to get to faith? And the third thing is, what's life like in the light? I want to make this clear. I think sometimes as a church, what we'll do is we'll say that following Jesus is just like, it's like a ticket to heaven, right? I want to follow Jesus so that I have eternal life, so I get my ticket to heaven, and then like, that's pretty much it for everything that happens right here. But when you are surrounded by darkness and the light comes into your life, it illuminates right now. It doesn't take until you die to experience anything about that. No. Like, it illuminates right now. Your life will change right now. There will be a before, there will be a during, and there will be an after. And our job is to let people know what that journey is like. What was that journey like for me? I actually had a cool moment on the way back from Colorado. We were, same thing. It took us a lot longer to get back than we thought it would. I don't know what it is about like GPSs, but it's like, I'll look at the ETA and it'll say we have like 15 hours left. And then I swear we'll be in the car for 5 hours, but only like 2 hours will come off of the ETA. I don't know exactly how that works. It's some kind of weird science. But we did that. And so we ended up getting back home at like 2 a.m. And like, we were watching movies in the car just to stay awake. And so we get home and it's 2 a.m. and we're both really tired. And Fallon, she goes to go to bed, and I actually didn't pull the laptop out this time because I'm not afraid of the dark in my own house, I guess. There's just other places. But what I did do is I told her, like, I'm actually going to take a shower before I go to bed. And she was like, why are you going to take a shower? That's crazy. Like, we're really, really tired. I was like, I just have like this feeling. Like, for me, it's like, I call it like the stale car feeling. Like, you've been in the car all day. Like, nothing really, bad happened. I didn't spill anything on me. I didn't like work out before I got in the car, but I've just been in the car all day and I just feel kind of gross. And I was like, I just need to wash this off before I go to bed. And so I go and I take my shower and, I wash it off and I went to bed. But I was thinking about like, what was life like before Jesus? And the best way I can explain it is, for me, it was like that like stale car feeling. Like, I actually had a really good childhood, and on the outside, I didn't really have anything super traumatic happen to me. Like, if you looked at my life, it wasn't falling apart, but my life, it definitely was stale. Like, there was like, it just felt gray. Like I felt like I always had this like thought that like there must be other people who see things brighter than I do, right? Like, there must be more to it, and with the staleness, there were like these other things that I was kind of wrestling with. Like, I've told you all about this before, but like I've wrestled with like anxiety, but like back then, like it was a lot worse. And the way that it kind of came up was in weird ways. Like, if I was told I was going to the mall randomly and I didn't know that I was going to the mall, like it would just like come up, and like I was just wrestling with it. And then like there's a lot of days I woke up and the first thing that happened when I opened my eyelids was I would get like butterflies on my stomach because I was nervous about something random that was going to happen throughout the day that I didn't even know about. And there was a lot of days before I started following Jesus where it was like I woke up and I wasn't suicidal, like I didn't hate my life, but I like was most of the time like what is the point? Like, like there's gonna be a lot of things that happen today, and we're gonna go through a lot of trouble just to kind of make the day happen. I'm gonna go to work, like all this stuff, and it was just kind of like, it was just stale. Like, it was like, what is the point of this thing? And then I met Jesus, and the way I met Jesus is also maybe kind of unique. I didn't have a moment where I was in my room or I was at a church camp or anything like that, and Jesus like talked to me. Like, I didn't ever have God like tell me I was going to be a pastor or anything like that. Like, it was just these step-by-step moments. I was attending the youth ministry here, and at the time I was struggling with anxiety. I'd also been struggling with like pornography for a long time, like since like a young age. And I remember I just started asking questions to Taylor and to Jared and to my leaders, and it was just like step by step by step. I saw that God was like revealing himself to me. And it was like, he was faithful that whenever I was seeking him out, like he would actually open the door. And like some of actually the most like spiritual moments for me at the beginning were me stocking shelves at Big Lots and listening to this guy named Greg Boyd, who's a theologian who you probably don't care about because you're not nerdy like me. But like, I remember listening to him, and like these things were clicking for me. And like, I was realizing like God really is good. And I was like feeling his presence there at Big Lots, stocking shelves. And I was like just overwhelmed with how kind and how loving he is. And it was starting to dawn on me that like the creator of everything like really has a purpose for me. Like, the creator of everything really created me. Like, he has a plan for me. And I remember, I guess I didn't have like one huge moment, but I remember a moment when I realized there was a shift in myself. And I was listening to that same Greg Boyd book, and I'm not going to ruin the ending for you, but at the ending, there's a guy, and he has this like really big faith step. And I remember just listening to it, and I was just like weeping in my car. And I was just like, God, you're so good. And like, it was probably one of the first times I'd ever like directly was like talking to God and feeling like he was hearing me. And I was like, God, you're just like, you're that good. Like, you've been that good to him, and you've been that good to me, even when I didn't see that you were that good. And like that's how I started following Jesus. And then now that I'm following Jesus, what is it like? Man, it's completely different. Like, it's completely different. First off, the pornography addiction that I struggled with for 5 years, I haven't even touched it in 5 years. So God came through and did something miraculous in my life that way. On top of that, like the anxiety, like the little things that you wrestle with in life isn't like, super smooth all the time, but there's like purpose behind it. Like anytime you have something that like I'm going to do and I'm nervous about it, or anytime I'm going to do something and I'm doubting myself about it, like I have no doubt in my mind that there is a creator who put me here on purpose with a purpose. Like, there's just like a boldness that comes whenever you know that there is a God who not only like lived for you, but he died for you and then lived for you again. And so like I get to walk around now, and I get to wake up. I know that there's a purpose for my life. I know that he has a plan for my life, and I know that I'm walking out the call on my life, and I get to see him move in my life, and not just move my life, but I get to see him move in your life. I get to see him move in my family's life. And I have my whole family here serving at Brick Youth this Wednesday. Yeah, it's crazy. Why? Because God is that good. Why? Because there was a before I started following Jesus, there was a how I started following Jesus, and now there's now. And Brick Youth, it is vastly different. I wish I could explain to you. I wish I could express to you. I wish I could give you the thing where you could like feel what I'm feeling. But like, it is so different. God has shifted my life. He has changed me forever. I'm saturated in purpose now. What was it like when I was in the darkness? It was stale for me. But how did I find the light? Just one step at a time. What's life like now that I'm in the light? I'm saturated in purpose. Brick Youth, what I want to let you know is that your testimony is the most powerful tool that you have. Can we say testify one more time? Someone say testify. Our faith started by us telling stories, and it will continue by us telling stories. And what I can promise you is that your story will bring light to the world. And if you will commit to telling the story that God has called you to tell, he will change everything.